Hello children, welcome back to our session. We are learning about microorganisms, friend and foe. And till now, what we have learned, let us have a quick revision of this matter, whatever we have learned. First, we have learned about what are microorganisms. Microorganisms or organisms that are very small, which cannot be seen by our naked eye, are called as microorganisms. And microorganisms, they can live in any kind of environment, ranging from ice cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy lands. And we have learned about where do they found. Microorganisms are found in air, water, and in the bodies of plants and animals. So we can tell microorganisms are omnipresent. And microorganisms, they may be unicellular or multicellular. And then we have learned about different types of microorganisms. Microorganisms are mainly classified into four major groups, namely bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. And microorganisms, they play an important role in our lives. And all microorganisms, they do not cause diseases. Some microorganisms, they are beneficial for us in many ways, whereas some other microorganisms, they are harmful and cause diseases. And in last session, we have learned about few uses of microorganisms like preparation of curd, bread and cake, production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid, and increasing soil fertility. And in this session, we will be learning about the two uses, whatever left you can see here, that is preparation of medicines and vaccine, that is medicinal use of microorganisms, and cleaning up the environment in a detailed manner. And if you see that microorganism preparation of how it is useful in preparation of curd, we have learned that is lactobacillus bacteria, which is present in the milk. When few drops of curd is added to the warmth milk, and it converts lactose sugar present in the milk into lactic acid. That is why milk change into curd. We have learned that the taste of milk, that is sweet taste, get converted into sour taste, that is acid, lactic acid. Then we have learned about how bread is being made by the use of yeast. When wheat flour is added with sugar, yeast, and little warm water or little water at room temperature, and you can see that yeast grow in that, and due to fermentation, we can get a soft porous bread and other pastry items. And then we have learned about commercial use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are useful for us for the large scale production of alcohol, wine, and acetic acid. Acetic acid is nothing but vinegar. And for this, yeast is used for the commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, yeast is grown on a natural sugar. Natural sugar, they are present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, crushed fruit juice, etc. And by the process of fermentation, it converts this sugar present in the grains into alcohol and release of carbon dioxide. So what is fermentation? Conversion of sugar into alcohol is called as fermentation. During this process, it reproduces and it multiply large. That is why we can see that while making bread, the dough, after it is kneaded, after some time it get raised, and here it releases carbon dioxide, because by the process of respiration, living organisms, they release carbon dioxide. And also we have learned about how microorganisms are useful for increasing soil fertility. That is by the bacteria, rhizobium bacteria, which are present in the root nodules. They fix atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogen compounds, and so that plant can utilize that nitrogen for their growth. So these microbes are commonly called as biological nitrogen fixers. And now this session we will be learning about medicinal use of microorganisms. So whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets or capsules, or it may be in the form of injection such as penicillin. You might have heard about it, penicillin. And these medicines like tablets, in the form of tablets, capsules, or whatever, injection, these medicines, from where it is being made, the source of these medicines is microorganisms. So these medicines are made by microorganisms only. These medicine, when it is taken inside our body, they kill or stop the growth of disease causing microorganisms. So such medicines are called as antibiotics. So antibiotics are medicines prepared from the microorganism itself, which when taken, it kill or stop the growth of disease causing microorganisms, what we otherwise called as pathogens, which are present inside our body, so that we get cured from the diseases, illness. So such medicines are called antibiotics. And nowadays, number of antibiotics are being produced from microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. So antibiotics are medicines which are prepared from microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. And if you see that commonly used antibiotic, very familiar antibiotics names are streptomycin. You can see on the screen, streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin are some of the commonly known antibiotics which are made from fungi and bacteria. So children, name some antibiotics which are made from fungi and bacteria: streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin. And these antibiotics, the antibiotics that are manufactured, how they are manufactured? By growing specific microorganisms. And these medicines or antibiotics can be used to cure variety of diseases. So we can call that as broad spectrum of antibiotic. One medicine can be used to cure for many diseases. Got it? So the antibiotics that are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms can be used to cure variety of diseases. And what are they called as? Broad spectrum of antibiotic. That antibiotic is called as broad spectrum. It can be, one medicine can be used to cure many illness. And antibiotics not only cure this illness of human, and it can be used with the feed of livestock like cattle, poultry like hen and all, to control microbial infection in animals also. As well as these some antibiotics are also manufactured to control plant diseases. So antibiotics are medicines which are prepared from microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. These antibiotics not only cure illness of human being, but also it is used to cure for animals, microbial infection of animals, as well as of plant diseases. And here you can see that antibiotic, like which are this made in the form of capsule. It is prepared by from the microorganism bacteria. And this scientist Alexander Fleming, who discovered the antibiotic called penicillin, and just now we have seen that penicillin is given, that antibiotic given in the form of injection. So in 1929, Alexander Fleming, how he has discovered, let us see now. In 1929, Alexander Fleming was working on a culture of disease causing bacteria. He has made a culture growing, that of disease causing bacteria. Suddenly he found, in that culture, suddenly he found the spores of little green mold. What is that little green mold? Nothing but fungi in one of his culture plates. So he has he could see that some green mold have grown, spores. They reproduce by spores. So he could see that little green spores of little green mold in one of his cultured plates. And what he has observed is, in that where culture plate where green mold has grown, he observed that there was no growth of bacteria. So in presence of mold, it prevented the growth of bacteria. So in fact, it also killed many of these bacteria. So it has, in that culture of bacteria, it killed the growth of bacteria. Only he could see that growth of fungi, that green mold. So from this, the mold penicillin was prepared. So this penicillin was prepared from fungi, which could kill the bacteria. So bacterial infection can be cured by the antibiotic called penicillin, which was prepared by Alexander Fleming from a fungi called green mold. And now let us learn in detailed manner about use of antibiotic, how we have to use it. It is very, very important that antibiotic should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. So we cannot take by our own. We have to take only by the only it should be prescribed by qualified doctor. Also, we have to complete the course prescribed by the doctor. Even if your illness get cured, we should not stop in between that antibiotic. How it was prescribed by the qualified doctor, for how many days we have to take, that full course have to be completed. And if we take antibiotics for suppose if you don't want to fall ill, if you they take as a precautionary measure as antibiotic when not needed or in wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you might need in future. So whenever we fall ill and when it is prescribed by doctor, that time only we have to take antibiotic and complete the course as prescribed by the doctor. And when it is not needed or when you take in wrong doses, what may happen? It may make the drug less effective actually when you need it. So we have to be very careful. And antibiotics taken unnecessarily, what will happen if you take unnecessarily? It may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body, inside our body. Some bacteria are present. I told that microorganisms are omnipresent. It is present in our body also, and it is very useful for us. So it may kill the beneficial bacteria which are present in our body. So antibiotics, they are not effective. So we cannot take antibiotic for common cold, flu, etc. because these cold, flu and all caused by viruses. So antibiotics are only made from bacteria and fungi, and it is useful to cure the illness which is caused by bacteria and fungi. So antibiotics cannot be used for common cold and flu because they are caused by viruses. And now so we have completed antibiotics. Antibiotics are medicines which are taken to cure your illness. And now let us see about vaccine. On the other hand, vaccine are taken in order to protect us from diseases. So just opposite, antibiotic should be taken by the advice of qualified doctor after you fall ill, but vaccine to be given for us in order to protect us from diseases. So now let us learn in detail about vaccine. So when disease carrying microbes, actually what happens, let us see, when a disease carrying microbes enters our body. So if disease carrying microbes, what it is called as pathogens, when it enters our body, immediately our body produces antibodies. We have learned in 7th standard antibodies to fight the invader. What do you mean by invader? Whichever enter into our body. Here invader is microorganisms. So whenever pathogens enter our body, that is disease carrying microbes are called as pathogens. When they enter our body produces antibodies to fight against the pathogen. Here we call that as invader. And the body also remembers how to fight the microbes if it enters again. Once if it enter, antibodies fight against that invader. Again in future, again if the same pathogen enter, it remembers also how to fight the microbes again. So if dead or weakened microbes, dead pathogens or weak pathogens, if it is introduced into a healthy body, when we are healthy, our antibodies are also will be strong enough to fight the pathogens. So here the vaccines are produced from the dead or weakened microbes. So if dead or weakened microbes are introduced when we are in healthy condition, so what happens? The body fights and kills the bacteria, invading bacteria, that is bacteria which entered, by producing suitable antibodies. So the antibodies, whatever it produces, it remains in our body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes forever, for our lifetime. This is how vaccine works. Got children? So vaccine is to be given when we are in healthy condition, that is in order to protect us from fall into disease, and antibiotics are given after we fall ill in order to cure that. But here vaccines are given in order to protect us. It is a preventive measure, or you can tell protective measure. So when we are in healthy condition, how vaccines are made? It is made from dead or weakened microbes. When it is introduced, our body will produce suitable antibodies which fight and kill the invading bacteria, and whatever antibodies are produced at that time, it will remain in our body. And whenever there's disease causing microbes, when it enters, it fight and kill that microbe so that we don't fall that disease. So this is how vaccine works. So several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, and hepatitis can be prevented by vaccination. So for these diseases, vaccines are there. We can protect ourselves by these vaccines. And it is essential to protect all children against these diseases. So necessary vaccines are available at nearby hospitals. And because children, we have to protect our children against these diseases. And you might have seen that advertisement on TV, newspapers regarding protection of children against polio under the program called Pulse Polio program. And because these are all awareness programs which are done by our government of India, so that these children who are in urban area, that is those who can't, rural area, those who don't know about anything, so they can come to know, they create awareness about these dangerous diseases so their children can be protected. So polio drops are given to children, or actually a vaccine. A only vaccine which is given orally is polio. Remaining all other vaccines are given by in the form of injection. So now a worldwide campaign against smallpox. Also, because of that, we have completely eradicated the disease called smallpox. Now smallpox is completely eradicated because of the vaccine of smallpox. And nowadays, the vaccines are made on a large scale in order to protect even other animals also from several diseases. And so about this vaccine, in your childhood, you must have given some injection to protect yourself from several diseases. And here I'm going to show the list of some vaccines against diseases, and you may take your parents' help and you can make the chart, and you can, with the help of your parents, you can find it whether all the vaccines are given or not. See, from here, the child from birth till up to 5 to 6 years, that a vaccine chart is given. That is, first is at the time of birth, what vaccine is given? BCG. That is, the full form of BCG is Bacillus Calmette-Guerin vaccine, BCG. Then at the 2 months after birth, 2 months, oral polio vaccine is given. This oral polio vaccine is given till up to 5 years orally. Twice a year it is given. You may have heard that this polio vaccine are given orally. Even now it is continuing. And that is 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. And after that, every year till 5 years old, this oral polio vaccine is given. Then hepatitis B vaccine is given at the time of birth, then 2 months, 6 months, then 12 months, that is 1 year, then 18 months, 1.5. These many doses to be given. Then DTP is given at the time of this 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 18 months, and then 5 to 6 years old. See, you can see here so many vaccines like rotavirus vaccine, MMR. You may have heard this, MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella, and varicella vaccine, hepatitis A vaccine, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, PCV. So this chart you can prepare by seeing this, and you can with the help of your parents, you can come to know whether these vaccines are given to you. And now see here, you can see that polio vaccine is the only vaccine which is given orally. And the smallpox vaccine was discovered by Edward Jenner in the year 1798. And penicillin is an antibiotic, isn't it? Penicillin is an antibiotic. And here, smallpox vaccine is discovered by Edward Jenner in the year 1798. And now, so we have learned about medicinal use of microorganisms, that is how it is used to produce antibiotic as well as vaccine. Now we will be learning about it is also used in cleaning the environment. Microbes help to keep our environment clean. How? By decomposing dead matter. So these decomposed substances are recycled as they get reused from the soil by plants. That is by the process of decomposition. And even some bacteria present in the sewage also used to decompose, and other waste in water. And also bacteria help in treating sewage. So sewage plant, biological process, bacteria present in it is used to treat water biologically. And also bacteria is used in biogas plant, produce biogas from waste. And even many herbivores have cellulose digesting bacteria in their stomach. Because of that, herbivores, they eat plants. Say plants are rich in cellulose. It is very difficult to digest. Already in their stomach, cellulose digesting bacteria is there, by which cellulose is being digested easily in herbivorous animals. And now we can see that how this bacteria is used for cleaning our environment by one activity. You have to take 2 pots, and each pot half filled with soil, and one pot you mark them A and next pot you mark them B. Now in pot A, you put some plant waste like vegetable peels, skins of vegetables, etc. And in pot B, you have to put things like polythene bags, pieces of plastics, empty glass bottles, broken plastic toys, etc. And we have to keep the pots aside and observe them after 3 to 4 weeks. And now what can you observe? Do you find any difference in the content of the two pots? Yes, obviously in pot A, where we have put that all plant waste, it has been decomposed. How the plant waste has been decomposed and it is converted into manure. That is by the action of microbes. Microbes are microorganisms. So because of this decomposition process, the nutrients are released and it can be used by the plants again for their growth. On the other hand, where we have marked pot B, where all that plastic pieces, polythene bags, empty glass, broken bottles are we have put in that, there will be the microbes cannot act on them. Means microbe cannot decompose these substances and convert into manure. So we have seen that all large amount of dead organic matter in the form of decaying plants and dead animals or get decomposed after some days, some time, it disappears. These are all because of microorganisms that get decomposed, the dead organic waste of plants and animals, and get converted into simple substances, what we call that as manure, so that plants can utilize those nutrients again for their growth. And children, here see, here we can see this, how this microorganisms this decomposition process occurred by microorganisms. See, trees grows in the soil, and from the tree a green leaf that is falls to the ground, and these leaves, some are eaten by insects and other animals, and again this nutrients, whatever it is present in there, and energy that enter into food web, that is we can food chain, it is a continuous process that energy is being transferred, and some nutrients which are present in the leaf, whatever leaves left, it leach into the soil by some chemical action. And also this partial leaves which are consumed by decomposers. What are decomposers? Microorganisms which is used for the decomposition process, such as fungi and bacteria. They convert that fallen leaf into litter, or you can tell into manure. And also further, it is being decomposed by earthworms, bacteria, and other microorganisms. And finally, all the nutrients will be added to the soil, and again it is being used by plants. So the nutrients are again used, so it is in a cyclic manner. So it is in this way decomposers are used for cleaning up the environment. How? If decomposers are not there, all dead and decayed plants and animals get keep around us, isn't it? So it because of microorganisms or decomposers, or environment be clean, so that how it can be decomposed, isn't it? So it is again used for the plants growth.